Do you remember back when you met that one friend where since the first time you two met, you just knew that you're gonna be friends for a while? Is that feeling in which as soon as you two separate and you don't see each other for a long time, you just can't stop thinking about the next time you're going to see that person? Why is that? Why is it that us human beings get so easily attached to another person's presence? Well, the truth, my friend, is that we focus more on how we felt around a person rather than the person himself. And this is where it's going to get a little bit dark here, right? But the issue is that, well, not really an issue, right? But the proof of this concept is, why do guys often miss their ex so much? Why is it when a guy splits up with a girl, even though he knows that it's over and that he shouldn't even bother spending time with that person, he still feels connected in a way? He still somewhat misses the times where he was around with that person, even though being around that person right now is going to be completely different. That is because, as I said, we focus more on the experiences with that person rather than the actual person himself. Most of the time, right? That is when we're talking about first impression, of course, right? So when you meet somebody for the first time and you're able to apply this positive energy, when you're able to start off with a positive setting, get everybody's moods up, right? Get everybody engaged. And when you're able to focus the conversation more on the other person, yes, this is stuff that you already heard, that's what makes a significant difference, right? Because once you allow the other person to feel free in your presence, that's when you've pretty much won the interaction. As long as the other person feels allowed to behave the way he wants to, as long as he feels unrestricted, right? Where he can be the way he wants to be, and there isn't any restriction, as I said, that's when you've won. That's when you've won the interaction, right? That's when you get people to come back to you really easily. Honestly, it's just a matter of applying this positive setting and making that person want to come back to you. Turns out the title is much more self-explanatory than you thought, right? It's about how they feel around you in their presence. And if, let's say, the first time you and I meet and I'm a dickhead to you, you're probably not going to enjoy my presence that much, right? This is self-explanatory enough. Same goes the other way around. If I were to, let's say, meet up with you for the first time, what's up, how you doing? And I was in a much more positive mindset, instead of just calling you names, whatever, you would be much more engaged. You would be actually motivated, driven to talk to me. But if I came in with this boring energy, just hi, how are you doing? How are you? And it's asking those empty, almost NPC questions. Of course, that's not going to get you anywhere. Questions are meant to help you move on from one topic to another, so on and so forth. When you ask an empty question, that doesn't get you anywhere, does it? Of course it doesn't, right? So keep this in mind. People remember the experiences way more than the actual person, right? And of course, this is it's not fully accurate, but you get the general message, right? You get the general idea here, right? But another great way to make people want to come back to you, and this is gonna get a little bit dark too, right? But have some mystery around you. Don't tell people everything about yourself, right? Because you don't have to. People don't have to know everything about you, right? This sounds reasonable, right? So why are you telling people everything there is to know about you? It's this is where things get tricky, because by nature, we want to know as much as we can about the other person, right? But when there's that slight bit of mystery, when there's this curiosity about the other person, right? That's when you just want to know what's happening. This is what a lot of guys do, even in YouTube, right? Storytelling. Why would they immediately tell you what you want to know? Of course, we're going to put in a 5-minute story beforehand so that you actually stay engaged and give us the watch time. It's just the way it is. We love mystery. We love curiosity, and it is such a big paradox, right? Because people often say that, oh my God, I hate waiting for something. But the process of waiting for something oftentimes feels way better than the actual thing that we're waiting for, right? And one of the best examples is, imagine you ordered a package. Let's say you ordered some video game. That's the first video game that came up to my mind is 2006 Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Because that game was pretty shit. You remember how when you ordered that game, for example, of course, in the process of waiting for the box to arrive, you were excited. You couldn't help but to get the game in your hands and play. You were so excited. But by the time you actually played that game, all it took you was maybe 2 days and you already got annoyed by it. Hell nah. What the fuck? That's not Sonic. What the fuck? I'm getting nostalgic in this video, but yeah, oftentimes, even though that we say that we don't like waiting for something because we would much rather know what it is, right? The process of waiting for that thing, the build-up of this hype, this slight bit of pressure, oftentimes feels way better than once we actually release that pleasure, right? You already kind of can imagine what this reminds you of. But yeah, a very similar concept can be applied when speaking to people. It's why would I tell every person, why would I oh boy, somebody doesn't know how to speak. Why would I tell every person that I know that I have a YouTube channel? Why would I? Honestly, right? This is something that girls really like as well. This is something that works really well with girls too. It's why would I tell her immediately that I have nearly 1 million views on YouTube? Imagine, oftentimes I just tell them that I'm working on something. Working on what? You'll find out. What is it? What is it? Right? And now I have this dynamic where every time I tell her that I'm doing something, now she's like, oh, is that the thing that you're talking about? And I'm like, no, keep waiting. And this builds up this pressure, right? This builds up this hype, this excitement. And this is something that I'm very vulnerable to as well, right? I get hyped up for things very easily. So this is something that I can really relate to, right? And this is also something that you can use to your advantage. So keep this in mind, my friend. When you build up this mystery around you, right? When you're able to impress somebody, but not tell them the whole story, they're gonna want to know more. They're gonna want to know way more than that, right? And when you live an interesting life and you fill your life with more of these experiences, which don't worry, you're on self-improvement. Those experiences are gonna come in time, over time. That's the word. So don't worry about that. Trust me. The amount of stories you will have to tell, you won't have to tell them, but the amount of stories you will have to tell. Okay, I'm kind of getting off track. You get the general idea, right? Just remember that people focus more on the experiences, so positive setting, everything that I said in the first half of the video, and to have some mystery around you. Those two traits, they're gonna make people want to come back to you. They're gonna want to know more. They're gonna get addicted to your presence. You will literally become this magnet that you saw on the thumbnail, right? I know I didn't use the whiteboard of wisdom in this video, but turns out you didn't even need it, right? So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that one. And if you want to talk to me directly, whilst hanging out an amazing community of like-minded people that all share the same interests and mindsets, my Discord server is the perfect place for that. Trust me on that. You will not find a better community than us anywhere else. But I'm not going to waste your time, right? For those who wonder, this is my cat. My cat's doing real good, as y'all often love to know. And yeah, I'm not going to waste your time anymore. So you can click all the videos if you want to. You can subscribe as well. That would genuinely mean so much to me. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. So keep working, brother, and take care.